Hello, everyone, and welcome to the
Brand new Combine.
I'm not Ty Patton. My name is Nico, and I am your producer, filling in for Ty Patton. He did get washed away due to the upcoming hurricane Milton, but we have a great show for you today. We will be, I know, it's very, very sad, but we will be recapping the NFL Week 5. It was an eventful week. We will be previewing Week 6, and then we'll be talking about intramural sports, as always, and finishing off with the Mad Lib. Don't go anywhere, because this is the Combine.
Yeah, leave it all on the court. Leave it all on the field. You gotta give it 100. That's from your head to your heel. This is the time that you want it. It's time to jump in and run it. Let's get to jumping and running into securing the deal. This ain't pretend, it's for real. Turn up the temp just a little. With stakes so high,
He's gonna make the throw. It's a touchdown.
Good looking for him. Block throw as always. Mike Evans, he scores again.
Mix it up for the combine. Push it to the limit. How I give it at the combine. Bet I blow your mind when it's lights, camera, showtime.
And welcome back. I'm joined this segment by Justin Barnes and Kathleen Moore. How are you guys doing?
Feeling pretty good today, always excited to be on the Combine.
Love it.
Doing pretty good following a Dolphins win. Always a good day.
No, we'll get to that in a second because it was not the prettiest game, but a win is a win, right?
Of course.
And over at the producer desk, we do have, as always, Edgar Rodriguez, and instead of Elijah this week, we do have Augie Aronson. How are you guys doing?
Good today.
Pretty good, pretty
I
good.
mean, tough loss yesterday from the Steelers. Actually, that was even this morning. 1 o'clock kickoff. 1 o'clock ending was rough, but
Yep.
I'm doing all right.
But here we are.
Absolutely. So let's just jump right into it. Our first game of the week was the Bucks and the Falcons. Now, again, I'm not Ty Patton, but Ty Patton was not happy at this game, and maybe that's why he's not here. Maybe he just intentionally threw himself into the hurricane. But Bucks did lose in overtime, 30-36. That was an eventful game. I personally was working. Everyone in the restaurant, because we're so close to Tampa, was upset. And then early Sunday morning was the London game, the Jets at the Vikings. The Vikings are the hottest team in the league right now. I think that's safe to say. I don't think the Jets are amazing. As always, they get hyped up every single year. But the Vikings still looked good. And then the Bears blew out the Panthers. What else is new? But then we're going to run into the Browns and Commanders game. That game was... I don't know what you guys want to say about it, because I personally, I hadn't lost belief in the Browns yet.
That for me, that ship sailed like week 1.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson just isn't the guy up there. It's probably gonna go down as the worst trade in NFL history, and the worst contract. Just comparatively what they gave up and what they're giving him to someone who is walking out of the field when the coach calls a 4th down play, and they have to bring in Jameis Winston because he's just not only performing for his team but also for his team emotionally.
Browns defense has been very disappointing this season. I mean, they were super overhyped, predicted to be the #1 defense in the NFL, and this is not panning out.
Yeah, 100%. But Jaden Daniels, Ty Patton's Offensive Rookie of the Year pick. Now, granted, I did have Caleb Williams, and he's not looking too shabby himself, but I would have him as 3rd place in that race right now. But Jaden Daniels went off in this game. If you want to touch on that at all, Justin.
Well, I want to touch on that later today, but yeah, he did have a monster game. Any game where you can come out with a win is amazing.
Okay, absolutely. And so then we're going to roll into the Dolphins at the Patriots. Now, we mentioned it earlier. Dolphins squeaked out a win. That game was great. We needed that.
We did need that. We jumped from tied for last place in the AFC East to now tied for 2nd place in the AFC East. So obviously, very helpful win for the future of the season. But it was just an ugly game for all accounts, right? We couldn't get anything going until the last 7 minutes of the game when we started running the ball. I unfortunately had to watch the entire thing because I had nothing else to do. But I just want to shout out my MVP of this game, Alec Ingold, the fullback.
Yes, couldn't agree more.
Instrumental to the comeback, instrumental to the run game, establishing the run, and he got he got his gift of a touchdown in that game. That was the go-ahead touchdown after just being in the trenches and helping Jalen Wright and Raheem Mostert get down the field.
Absolutely. And so our next game that we're going to talk about is going to be the Ravens at the Bengals. What a game that was. It ended 41-38 in favor of the Ravens. If you look at those stats, Joe Burrow had nearly 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns, which, by the way, just going really quickly back to that Bucs loss, Kirk Cousins had over 500 passing yards.
Insane. 509.
Yep. I can't believe I just brushed over that. But we're mentioning it anyway. But this game from Joe Burrow was great. This game from Lamar Jackson was great. 400 yards total, of course. And then 4 touchdowns. Each had an interception, but that's okay. Jamar Chase had 10 receptions, 193 yards, and 2 touchdowns. T. Higgins had another 9 for 83 and 2 touchdowns. That receiving core is in full swing now that T. Higgins is back. And then Derrick Henry, absolutely sealing the game. He wasn't having the most efficient game, but then at the end, when they needed it, in overtime, he breaks a big run, 40, 50-something yards. I can't remember, to be honest, but he finished that game with 92 yards and then also had a touchdown. But that big break ran into a field goal from Justin Tucker, as he's done so many times. But just, it was the first meeting in the AFC North. I know Augie is cringing because he hates both these teams, but he respects that it was a great game. I know that for a fact. And speaking of another great game was the Colts and Jaguars, another just field goal game. This one didn't go to overtime, but the Jags did win it 37-34. Trevor Lawrence actually looked good first time this entire season. Joe Flacco, of course, he's just going to continue lobbing it up. Doesn't matter how many picks, doesn't matter how many incompletions. He'll get 1 million passing yards. And so then, Kathleen, that brings us to the Bills-Texans game. Bills lost.
Oh, my gosh.
Bills Mafia is down, right, Justin? They are so down.
Thank God.
Josh Allen making his annual 4-week MVP candidate run, and I don't know. It's just this 9 for 30 completion rate is, that's
atrocious.
Inexcusable, I feel like. From a quarterback with Josh Allen's demeanor, I feel like he should be putting up way better numbers than that. CJ Stroud, though, he had one heck of a game, 358 total passing yards. And it's only 1 passing touchdown, but it's okay. But I think both of these teams looked really strong. But I just want to see more diversity on more diversity on this Bills offense. I feel like there's not a lot of wide receiver diversity for Josh Allen. I just don't think he's really utilizing his people enough. And this was a big game, especially for Stephon Diggs. Buffalo was his home for 4 years, and going back up against his home quarterback, that's got to be rough.
Yeah.
So I think the Texans had to pull this game out for Stephon Diggs.
Unless the Bills are playing the Dolphins, they're not that impressive. We've figured that out. Now, I've also come to the realization, and I knew this. I was at that Bills-Dolphins game when Tua died, but we're just not going to beat the Bills. That's a reality.
Yeah.
But you know who the Bills aren't going to beat? Good teams. So then we're just going to really quickly speed run through the rest of the games from this week. Granted, we haven't found out the results from the Saints-Chiefs game 2 days ago, but the Raiders lost to the Broncos. Look, Matthew Brecker is up right now. Bo Nix has been balling.
Gardner Minshew got benched.
He did. He did.
After Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix might be my offensive rookie of the year.
Okay. Really?
Oh, yeah. If he can continue rolling down and maybe get the Broncos and a chance to win the AFC West.
Whoa.
I think that's a little ambitious.
Let's be real.
You're right. The Chiefs haven't looked amazing.
The Chiefs are really lackluster, and I think.
Here's the thing about the Chiefs, though. They're doing what matters in a championship team. They're eking out the wins in what looks like a winless situation. And that's what you see from these teams that win conferences.
Shout out to the refs.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. I still like Caleb Williams and Malik Neighbors, but I like that you're showing some love. What I love even more is the Cardinals beating the 49ers. Cardinals are my second favorite team in the league. I don't really know when that started, but it started a couple years ago. I'm not like a bandwagon, okay? Love all their players, but they beat the 49ers by 1 point. Loved that. Giants beat the undefeated Seahawks. Not undefeated anymore. It was an eventful week because then you have the Packers. Yeah, you have the Packers beating the Rams. That wasn't necessarily that
Rams
surprising.
Rams injuries are so bad right now. They're just getting kicked when they're down.
You got to feel for them. And then at 3 a.m. in the morning, the Cowboys and Steelers played due to weather delay. Cowboys did eke that one out. I'm so sorry, Augie.
America lost when the Cowboys
so
won
sorry,
last
Augie.
night.
But yeah, and Dak Prescott, shout out for him becoming the only quarterback to throw an interception in the same game on 2 different days.
Interesting.
What kind of stat is that?
That's an
That's so
ESPN
wild.
stat right there.
It really is. And so we're just going to move on to week 6, though. Okay. We expect some more good games. Okay. We have 49ers Seahawks. We have Bucks Saints. That's always a fun one. I hate to say it. I'll be rooting for the Saints. You know, I became somewhat rooting for them when they had Drew Brees, favorite
Love
player
Drew
of all time.
Brees.
Favorite player. But Justin, go ahead and talk a little bit about the Commanders-Ravens game, Battle from Maryland.
Yeah, I mean, after the game that Jaden Daniels had yesterday for us, but I think obviously he's the number 1 pick as of now for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And I think this game is really important because if he has a good game against the former MVP, that can sprout him into this is pretty much a lock conversation, you know? And also you have 2 quarterbacks that are competing against each other that are really similar. You know, both Heisman winners, both mobile, can throw too. I mean, it's going to be a good game, a good quarterback conversation or a quarterback competition. And also on top of that, you have, if Washington gets rolling, you have to have the conversation of, hey, are the Commanders
They're
going to
4-1,
win?
guys.
Are the Commanders going to win the conference?
They're 4-1. The
can't
Eagles
handle
were
it.
on bye this week, but they most recently lost to the Bucks. The Cowboys did just narrowly squeak out a win, but they're not looking good. I don't hate it.
I can't do this.
I know.
I can't do this. I'm an
but at
Eagles
the
fan.
Oh man.
know.
Ooh, you're kind of down a little bit right now. It's all right.
Enough on that.
Yeah, okay. Really quickly to touch on the Bucks, Ty Patton's Bucks at my Saints. We're not going to go that far, but Kathleen, tell me a little bit about this Bucks Saints game.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a crazy battle for the NFC South. I mean, it's honestly looking like a pretty tight race. People are really liking the Falcons right now. People are liking the Saints, and people are really liking the Bucks. I mean, I think we have to really consider all of these options. Obviously, the Panthers, they're out of the question. Like, it hurts my North Carolina heart to say, but they're out of the question. I mean, the Saints, they have a ton of great offensive weapons. Granted, they're headed by Derek Carr, who isn't exactly a stellar-looking quarterback for the Saints. But, you know, the Falcons, I mean, Kirk Cousins throwing for 509 yards, that's ridiculous. Like, you have to at least legitimize that a little bit, even though the Falcons, like, all around aren't amazing. But 509 yards is insane. That's insane. And then we have to put Baker Mayfield in this MVP conversation if this game goes well. Because, I mean, he's putting up numbers that are close to, you know, Lamar Jackson 2 years ago. And Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he's definitely putting up better numbers than Patrick Mahomes is right now.
And yet, Mahomes is favored right now for MVP, by the way.
Let's not talk about the glazing
is
of Patrick
insane.
Mahomes.
It's absurd. If you watch bets from 2 days ago, you'll see that I mentioned Baker Mayfield. He should be in that race. Granted, I didn't choose him, but I completely agree.
He needs to be there. I mean, he's been performing well week after week, even through the loss. He's, I mean, just very consistent. And then Mike Evans, of course, leading the league in receiving touchdowns. I mean, that's very impressive. They've got a lot of good statistics going for them on the Bucs. So I would say they're definitely my favorite for the NFC South right now, as much as it hurts me.
And they have Bucky Irving, who's just looking better and better every
I mean,
week.
what the heck?
Granted, he had a fumble last week, but you know what? They have a nice Thunder and Lightning running back combo.
It's
in
a
there.
very consistent team. It's a very well split team, I would say. Everyone really works together and plays as a team, as one.
100%. And so, really quickly, a couple more games in that week. Before I get to my pick and the last pick of this segment, we have Cardinals-Packers who, I'm going to be rooting for the Cardinals. I don't like the Packers, and I do like the Cardinals. So that's just kind of the reality of it. We have Colts-Titans divisional matchup. Texans-Patriots. Patriots are losing by
Trash.
30. Browns-Eagles. I think Browns are losing by 30. Chargers-Broncos will actually be interesting. Do we agree about that? I think we do.
Justin Herbert's
Battle
going
of
to
the
give him
Tens.
a run for their money, I think.
Yeah.
I'm hopping on the Bo train, honestly.
Really?
I believe in Bo Nix.
You sound like Matthew Bracker.
I-
We didn't have
hey.
him on the show.
Matthew
this week.
Bracker isn't on the show today. It's Justin.
Shout
Come
out to
on.
Matthew Bracker. I mean,
You're a
hey,
Dolphins fan. And then we also, I know we'll be watching this game. I don't know who we want to lose more. but Bills Jets on Monday Night Football. Both teams stink. Probably Bills will win, but
I'm rooting for the Jets just because.
Love it.
You gotta play with math, you know.
Yeah, 100%. But our last game is going to be the Lions Cowboys. I won't touch on this one too long. Lions are Ty Patton and I's Super Bowl picks, and that hasn't changed. We did that before the season. I also said the Texans, and I'm feeling good about that. He said the Jets, and
That's not panning out.
no. I mean, granted, he did say the Texans in the Super Bowl, but he said Texans versus Jets. I said Texans versus Chiefs.
We need to leave Aaron Rodgers alone.
No, they're maybe making playoffs. I highly doubt that.
I don't even know.
I think it might just be the Bills from our division. But that's all. Again, besides the point, Lions will win this game and win it pretty convincingly. When these two teams played last year, it was during New Year's, actually. This was when CD had, like, the 98-yard touchdown pass reception from Dak. It was a great game, though. But again, Lions will convincingly win this. They are coming off the bye. They're second in a very competitive NFC North. They're averaging 400 yards per game, which is just kind of insane. And you know who's not? The Cowboys. They're third in the NFC East behind the Commanders. So that's just wild.
The fact that they barely won against the Steelers is saying something.
I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. They don't deserve to win any game ever.
Preach. They are not dem boys.
Straight to the camera.
They are not dem boys.
Never.
And never will be. You know what?
Never.
America's team, who?
That
I think
one
America's
graphic.
team is the Lions now.
Have you seen that one graphic where every time they lose, they put like the quarterback?
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. NFL memes on Instagram, 100%.
NFL memes IG?
Yep. Love them. Yeah, 100%. That is going to be it for this segment, though. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Really appreciate the help filling in for Ty Patton. Give it up. You know,
give it up
great
for
job.
Nick.
Great job. Oh no, let's not do that.
Good job, Nick Cohen.
Thank you.
Great
After
host.
this PSA, though, we will be joined by Frankie Noble and Mason talking about IMs a little bit. So don't go anywhere.
Hello, Hitting the Field family. My name is Andrew Montana, host of Season 19 of The Main Show. And on behalf of HTF, we hope you're enjoying today's content. But I'm here to tell you about everything else we have to offer here at the network. Mondays at noon, HTF Bets goes live with 3 of the best on-air faces we have in the program. Andrew Gregg's personality, Tyler Brownrigg's sports expertise, and Nick Cohen's versatility make this show a fan favorite, but also a warm light to guide you through the harsh world that is the sports betting industry. On Tuesdays, Frankie Noble hosts a brand new show called Girls Got Game, blending women in sports, the biggest sports news stories, and creative segments that make for a fun and engaging show. Next up, we've got The Combine, an easygoing, conversational, and podcast-style show dropping on Wednesdays with Ty Patton as your host. No changes there. But a big change for The Combine is the set. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to The Combine from our brand new podcast studio. We've got the lights, we've got the cameras, all for Ty Patton to bring the action, and we hope you're just as excited as we are for this amazing opportunity. Much great content from The Combine this semester, as always. Then tune in Thursdays at noon for our second live show, The Main Show, hosted by, well, yours truly. Here we'll cover any sport, any topic, any story, no matter how obscure, be it basketball, football, hockey, soccer, UFC, MMA, cycling, even baseball. But be sure to tune in throughout the semester for our special shows, including drafts, debates, and much, much more. Lastly, Nighttime is aired on Fridays, where Patrick Previty and Matthew Bracker talk about UCF and college sports. From in-depth looks at campus's top storylines to collegiate records being broken nationwide, let Nighttime be your primary college sports resource. And outside of our 5-show roster, be sure to tune into our other content, such as the Studio Days vlog run by Vlog King Nick Cohen, breaking news graphics on our Instagram page, and much more. As well, make sure you're subscribed to Hitting the Field Network on YouTube, as well as following us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. But as for me, I've been Andrew Montana. Thank you so much for watching, and back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And welcome back. I'm joined by our executive producer making his Combine debut this season, his brand new Combine debut.
Yes.
And then Frankie Noble, as always, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We're all amazing. So, how did intramurals go this week?
Bad.
I don't think very good.
Bad.
Not good at all.
Yeah.
Better than the week before.
Okay.
Maybe. You weren't at the week before, were you?
Didn't they put up a
They
little
did
bit?
the worm.
There was no worms this week.
There was
That's
no
good.
worms this
I'm
was
safe
week.
from
attempted
doing it. Ty
worms.
Patton did it last week. I am not doing it.
But
37-13 was the score.
it wasn't, I would say it was a lot better. I thought Tyler had a really great catch
Yes.
for the
I heard
extra
about
point. It was insane. Very proud of him. Augie had a much better game.
Good. We love Augie.
He threw the ball very well. Did not run it every time. We're very proud of him. But ultimately, the other team was just looked like they actually played
Yeah,
sports a
like-
lot.
Okay.
Um,
Like maybe they should be in comp instead of rec.
yes.
Okay,
I mean, they
that's
just
fair.
looked uniform. Like they brought their own jerseys.
There was, like,
they
this-
looked like
the
they
second
played
you see
football,
that-
and you look at our team, and it's just like
Not like
yeah,
in
just
like a
looked
mean way.
mismatched
Yeah.
like pieces. Like they were all like
Yeah, no, we're not being mean, but the second you see people with customized jerseys at an
It goes hard.
intramural sport,
And there was this
you might as well
blonde.
just like
oh.
I'm not
Right.
gonna
Yeah,
say
don't
that.
say
There was
that
this
word.
blonde guy. He must have been the captain or something. He would not shut his mouth.
I'm sure.
He was so angry. He wasn't even that good,
He was bad. He was just
he
a
was pretty
T1
bad.
rapper.
and like he was really annoying.
I
So
can imagine.
yeah,
Yeah, it's okay.
it's fine. They're gonna come
There's
back
another
bigger,
game.
bigger and better
Yep.
tonight.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about it.
Is there a game
next week?
tonight?
We'll see.
I don't know if we
Hopefully
have
everyone
people.
continues to stay safe from Hurricane Milton, which hasn't hit us yet. So I would be surprised if there isn't a game. But I also
I will
wouldn't
not be there,
surprised.
Do you
unfortunately.
think they
That's
named
fair.
it after Mackenzie Milton?
Yep,
It
for
could
sure.
be. Could be.
Or McKenna Melville, who someone
That's
called her
not the
Mackenzie
same.
Melton the other
Yeah.
day.
Oh, who was that?
Who was that? Oh, that was
Mm.
interesting.
Was it Nick?
It was.
I think it was
No.
Andrew.
I thought it was
Montana.
It
Andrew.
was Andrew.
He
I
said,
thought it was
"Oh,
Andrew.
you know, Mackenzie Milton,"
Yep.
The
and talking about a
volleyball
volleyball player, and we
Yep.
were like,
Only our best volleyball player. Of all
and the
time.
best hurricane.
Yep.
Listen.
Yep. So that's kind of it for intramurals this week, though. We are going to touch on it again next week with some new faces, but we'll find that out then.
Are
We're
we?
gonna we might. We're gonna roll into a Mad Lib though, just because that might be a little fun. We're not playing girls naming girls anymore.
Ooh,
Wow,
yeah.
you did that pretty good.
I did that pretty good.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the story,
Okay.
and you are gonna
Should we
give
take
me
turns?
answers.
Should we take turns like Mason goes, I go?
We can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
We'll do Frankie first.
Okay.
Girls first. Okay.
Oh.
Breaking news. Name of NFL star.
NFL star
Today.
Jonathan Owens.
Who
Bro, of course.
is that?
Simone Biles' husband. Who plays what position?
Left bench.
Left bench. That's honestly
so
kind of
good.
realistic. For the either Lions or Bengals. Choose.
Bengals.
Bengals,
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
of course. Was arrested last night for blank crime.
Mason, appropriate answers only.
Come on, Mason.
Stealing Legos from Walmart.
Stealing Legos from Walmart.
Andrew Montana did that once.
Really? Oh,
Can't
shout
say
out.
that on here.
They got him. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I have heard the story. It was a mistake.
Is that in the Constitution as like a crime? Stealing Legos from Walmart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right next to.
It's
arson?
amendment number 14.
Yeah, it's right above John Hancock's signature.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know.
Officials say he had been drinking or smoking. Choose one.
Smoking.
Of course, always.
Oh
And was armed with a blank weapon.
Banana.
Banana, always. Okay.
Yeah.
And there
So-
was blank bodily fluid.
Oh.
Ooh,
Freaky.
there was
So many to
saliva.
choose from. Saliva. All right, love that. Everywhere at the scene of the crime. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell plans to suspend him for a number greater than 4.
1,675.
I was gonna say 472.
Okay. Games.
You have to read this all at the end.
I will. And fine him blank amount of dollars more than 5,000.
Fine him. 7,200,000.
Come on.
7,200,053 and 14 cents.
Oh.
Did you
And
write it down?
9/10 of a penny, like the gas station.
Did you write it down correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And this marks the NFL's number greater than 7. Come on, guys. Come on.
20 billion.
20 billion.
That's it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Arrest since since blank day of week.
Sunday, God's Day.
What are we doing here? Okay. I'm doing some math.
Math. Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What'd you say? Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday.
Okay. All right, guys.
We're ready.
Here it is.
Sat.
I spelled Sunday wrong.
Sunday,
Okay.
Sunday.
Breaking news. Jonathan Owens, who plays left bench for the Bengals, was arrested last night for stealing Legos from Walmart. Officials say he had been smoking and was armed with a banana, and there was saliva everywhere at the scene of the crime. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell plans to suspend him for 1,675 games, which is equal to 98 and a half seasons. And fine him $7,200,053.14. This marks the NFL's 20 billionth arrest since Sunday.
Sunday.
It is Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Great job, guys.
That was awesome.
Give it up. Great job.
That was super fun.
No, that was fun. I appreciate your guys' help.
I hope he's okay.
I know.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Simone must be really upset.
I know.
I don't
Well,
think so. Are they still married?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the beef?
They also have some gold medals to rely on. They could always like pawn it off to
Like melt them.
Can
Yeah.
you sell gold medals to a pawn shop?
probably.
You'd probably get a lot of money for
like
that.
other wear. and
Like,
get
I mean,
more
granted,
money.
he needs $7,200,053.14, but like,
But like,
Well,
he,
after
what's
he
his
suspended-
salary?
his salary is that Simone Biles' net worth is
But
like
he
It's
has
like
to wait the
100
98
billion.
and a half NFL seasons to get paid again.
Yeah, 98 and a
That's true.
half.
Yeah.
That's true.
He has to retire because of
Hopefully
his
he
saliva
survives.
everywhere.
Yeah, he's probably not okay.
He'll be like Frankie.
rough.
What's his name? Frankie.
Valley.
Yeah, he'll be like him when he comes out back to play again.
I'm unfamiliar with
With
his game.
Sherry.
Okay. No, keep going. We'll end the show with that. Thank you very much for tuning in this week to the Combine. I'm sorry that you missed Ty Patton, but I have been Nick Cohen, your producer. I hope to see you guys eventually soon. Quick shameless plug. Make sure to watch Bets, which was airing 2 days ago. But we'll see you next week, as always, with no more Mason, no more Franken, no more Sherry. But we will be talking NFL and intramurals, as always. We'll see you then. Have a great rest of your day.